Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So, finally, somewhat reluctantly, Chris Chibnall's production team has to start pre-publicity on their final turgid adventure. Why am I saying it's turgid? Because it's not going to be good, really. I mean, honestly, if you've seen somebody just fail over and over again, relentlessly, you could almost be guaranteed they're going to continue to do that. So that's what I think. So finally, Doctor Who magazine, they started to preview it. We've had a few interviews. I've gone over the interview with Sash Dewan. I put that on Friday. I'm pre-recording this stuff because it's a Jewish New Year on Sunday night and Monday night and until Tuesday evening for me. So I got to get a lot more content ready, ready to go. So I'm going through the interviews one by one. We have Janet Fielding talking about it, and so Sophie Aldred. So that's the only thing we really know for sure about the finale so far. That it's got Janet Fielding and Sophie Aldred in it, along with Sash Dewan, Daleks, Lone Cybermen, which was a good idea. But yeah, the biggest deal is Janet Fielding and Sophie Aldred. There's going to be more, right? There's got to be more stuff. But Chris Chibnall is so monumentally bad at promotion. He just is monumentally bad at promotion. They're not doing anything with it. We haven't even had the first trailer yet. Maybe it got delayed for the Queen's funeral. That's what I'm thinking, right? That's totally what I'm thinking. But anyway, they started doing pre-publicity, which we're going to be looking at today, because I have a feeling it's going to age reasonably badly, right? That's just my crazy little premonition. Before we get into it, like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are good, especially comment. That's great. Sharing is really good, right? Sharing really very much helps. The algorithm likes that, but subscribing is the one I like, right? If you can hit the subscribe button, that really helps. I'm trying to pop through 3,500, which I think is some kind of invisible barrier. And when you get through that, I might get some channel growth. I don't know. It's just agony. It's agony waiting for it to happen. So if you can hit the subscribe button, that really helps. Sign up my Substack. Sign up my paid Substack. Do my email newsletter and my paid email newsletter. Where you can keep up to date on all the stuff. My channel's going to get cancelled or banned at some point. Sign up my Substack so you keep updated. Plus, I put a bunch of extras on it, right? I always put out old articles from Doctor Who magazine, like vintage ones, because I just find that sort of stuff interesting, right? I do. That's me for you. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things. Fan-frickin-tastic. What else is fan-frickin-tastic? Is this month's issue of Doctor Who magazine fan-frickin-tastic? No, not for me. It really isn't, right? Because I don't really like the current era of Doctor Who, and there's not much else in it, right? I mean, nothing else that I'm really interested in. So let's have a look. We'll go page overview. Again, there's things I just don't understand. Like how is this a good idea? Like, how is this pose supposed to be good? I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking of, right? This looks better. The Rasputin Master, but that's it's a rip-off of the Matt Smith when he grew a beard in that weird, what was it, Black Cube prison thing. What was that one? Impossible Astronaut, one of those things. But anyway, the return flight. Tegan Javanka is back. Who gives a shit, really? Frankly, I don't need to see the further adventures of Tegan. Although, I have to tell you, I really am enjoying the 40 volume 2 box set from Big Finish, which has Tegan and Turtle in it. Really good. That's really, really good. This looks like, a couple of old biddies from hell. I just don't understand, right? I don't understand. But okay, right? That's it. And this is also from the era that Chris Chibnall very famously kept saying was unwatchable garbage. 4 decades after leaving the TARDIS, Janet Fielding is headed back to Scream as a self-described mouth on legs. No, that was a script that described her as that. Tegan Javanka, well, I guess the character described that. You never think it's actually going to happen, she tells Paul Kirkley. Here's the thing, they have no idea what they're walking into. I mean, they genuinely, they just think Anybody who doesn't like Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who is because they hate women, right? It's the feminists are have to band together and support each other. Darling, you're walking into unwatchable shit. That's the truth of the matter. And that you don't realise it, it's a little bit funny. Okay? It's a little bit funny. Let's have a look. And tell you, Sophie looks freaking awful in this as well. But okay, that's the way they decided to go. In late summer 2021, Janet Fielding shot her first Doctor Who scene in 38 years. And instantly turned the air blue. What? I understand. I swore on my first take with Jodie. Well, listen, what do you say? That was shit. What's wrong with you? That's understandable. Recalls Janet. Look, Jodie swears all the time as well. Talking to Doctor Who magazine some 10 months later. But she's so lovely. She just laughed and said, "Welcome back." Here, welcome back. Icky Thump. Welcome back. This is definitely the same show you left. No, you're not, darling. Further inquiry reveals that the expletive in question was slightly stronger than Tegan's preferred curse, rabbits. Okay, motherfucker. Okay, I'm trying to reform my character, Janet assures us, not entirely convincingly. I'm cleaning up my act. But look, again, she looks just so awful in this. It's so funny. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. How did Janet, who left the TARDIS in 84 after 3 years as Australian air stewardess turned time traveller, Tegan Javanka, find herself back on board for the BBC Centenary Special in the first place? Well, the rumour is that they went to people and said, there's not going to be a 60th anniversary, right? No, there's no 60th anniversary. This is basically it. Because at the time, they were telling the truth. There was no Rusty Davis when they wrote or made this, right? At the time, they were telling the truth. They found out about Rusty Davis, about 2 days before he announced, if that. They contacted me in July last year, asking, so that'll be July 2021, asking me if I was interested in doing it. And I said, yeah, come out, I'll do it. I mean, I guess, like, we're going to give you money and praise. Would you like that? I said, yeah. Actually, I would. I like the money and the praise. I think I'm going to do that. So, yeah, okay. Think it will be a day or two, she explains. Then nothing happens for weeks. And suddenly, it was all systems go. And that's when I realized it was a much bigger part than I was anticipating. Well, that's interesting. It's not just a one scene then, right? It seems... I don't know how long was she filming for is the question. At one point, I was like, okay, I haven't acted in front of the camera for 35 years. Listen, let's be fair, Janet. When you did, it's not like, the Laurence Olivier Awards who were coming calling, right? Right place, right time, basically. You could have been 100 different people. But okay. And you did look hot back in the day, let's be clear. Especially, hottest Tegan, I would say it was at the end of her run, right? That black and white dress and heels from Resurrection of Daleks. That's prime Tegan, right? Prime Tegan. Air hostess Tegan, a little bit covered up for me, right? Nah, that looks cold. With the Concord, that's so John Nathan Turner, right? Like, how do you get people to watch Doctor Who? And he would do stuff like that, putting in Concord in it. But look at the snow; it looks awful, and especially being in heels. Oh boy, we're watching Revelation of the Daleks. Was it? No, on the behind the sofa on the Blu-ray. Nicola Bryant's talking about going down the snowy bank wearing heels. And they say, "Can you go faster?" And she's like, "No." Right? No. Oh, come back. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay. Oh, God. She looks so Karen-y. Darling, you look like such a Karen. I've done Doctor Who audio dramas and Big Finish, of course. Well, not of course. You didn't do them for years. Oh, where'd you go? Nothing, of course, about them. There you go. Come on. There. Okay. Did the call come entirely out of the blue? I picked up on Twitter that if Chris Chibnall was going to bring back companions, it would be Sophie as Ace and me, says Janet. I don't remember that rumor going around. Recording the showrunner's comment into 2020 interview. I must have done a video about it. But it never looked like it was going to happen. And then, lo and behold, it did. It's a huge honor. It's really not, Janet. I mean, like, here's the thing. They just have no idea. She just has no idea. It's really not a huge honor, right? It's like you want to avoid. Did Chris General say why he chose Ace and Tegan specifically? That's actually a good question, because who was it? There's a great somebody leaves comments. Left a great comment talking about it. About how he's kind of defaulted back. Christian was defaulted back to the Doctor Who that he lambasted when at the time, right? With Ace and Tegan. It's weird. No, I didn't ask, says Janet. I suppose because you're both girls and it's all girls together. Oh yes. I suppose if you liked a certain range of companions like Liz Sladen's character, Sarah J. Smith, then you tended to like my character and Sophie's. Listen, you looked hot. Let's be fair. You looked hot. I didn't really like the boob tube much, though. But that was really a lot of it, and I don't think you can underplay that. Then you tended to like my character and Sophie's. There are certain similarities through my character. Was a lot crankier than either of those. That's true. This is true. Oh, we all agree. Tegan spent much of her time on TARDIS, bending the Doctor's ear about his inability to get back to Heathrow. Well, again, this was an 80s thing. You showed affection by squabbling, by bickering. That was really how it was done in the 80s. Well, and you really see that with Nicola Bryant and Colin Baker's Doctor and Companion, right? And that really came from Eric Saward, and I think it was more in the lieu of actually having good workable ideas. Once Memily describing herself as a mouth on legs, she was also brave, loyal, resourceful, and smart, qualities that are on full display in the Centenary Special. The power of the Doctor. I don't think they're going to be. I mean, honestly, thus far on Chibnall's run, he has not been able to write a character, female or otherwise, that seemed to be brave, loyal, resourceful, and smart. I mean, who? Who fits in that category? They keep telling us that Yaz is, but we haven't really seen it, right? We've just seen her masturbate over a Doctor Who hologram. And again, we didn't really see that. It was just more, in my fan fiction. And also, that fan fiction doesn't really do much for me. It kind of grosses me out. Keeping her comeback a secret involved being somewhat economical with the truth at times. Why? Why are they keeping her comeback a secret? I mean, again, why? How does that help generate interest? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't at all. I mean, again, no one's waiting on tenterhooks to find out what Chris Chibnall does. We want him to go away. I was lying to me when I hate lying. Well, okay, says Janet. The only prominent lie I ever told was when 1982 to John Nathan Dales went asking how old I was. But that's a traditional lie. How old's the character? Funnily enough, I just happened to be that age, right? So it didn't really count. When we were filming, I came up with a story that we were shooting extras for Blu-rays, and it was very plausible. One person asked, where are you filming? And I said, somewhere in the West Country. I think we shot there for Awakening, I think it was. But I've been forced into a lie. She turned out to be being pretty good at it. Well, you're an actress. I mean, that's basically your job of an actress. Yeah, it was fairly easy. I mean, again, she just looks so kind of like old. Okay. Listen, I guess you like. She's getting paid. Okay, she's getting paid. Everybody does make some money. None of this is sounding, sounding the alarm for greatness. None of these pictures I'm seeing. Is that from the special? And boy, Do you not think that this director grew his hair long? Right? Oh, what happened there? Go to page view. Yeah, there we go. Do you not think this director grew his hair long to get more work? So he's got that transy thing going. He's got the moustache and the long blonde hair. I think so, right? I think if he's got any sense, he should do. Oh man, did that again. Okay, let's read. Now, can I move it without it clicking on that thing? Okay. Easy to maintain because people aren't curious about you, really, says Janet. Though I did make the mistake of saying I was filming in Cardiff to one friend who guessed immediately. So I seized her warmly by the throat and said, if you tell anybody, I will have to kill you. Again, I don't know where this imagined excitement is from. I mean, why does it keep going back to that? One second, maybe it's the way I'm grabbing it like that. Okay. Again, this doesn't look good, right? It actually doesn't look good there. Okay, please don't. Jeez, it did. It's just there to taunt me. When we went in and out the studios in Rothlock, we wore these hooded toweling robes, so you couldn't see who we were. We looked like sinister monks. And it was like being bundled out of a police course. Cool. Yes, exactly like that, she said. Ah! And it did it again. Really? Okay, I'll lean closer. Right? That might, so I can read it. Just because there were fans hanging out trying to find out who was in the story. Again, I don't think anybody really cares. Genuinely, I'm not being a dick about it. I just don't think anybody really cares. When filming began on Janet's first new Doctor Who episode since the 80s, she quickly discovered they don't make them like they used to. Yeah, I think they got. I think things are slightly nicer now, probably. The first big shock was you don't rehearse, she says. In my day, you'll do 10 days rehearsal and then 2 or 3 days in the studio. Really? They don't rehearse? Really? Okay, that's weird. Now it's much, much quicker. As a result, her first day was utterly terrifying, she admits. The first scene I did was having a conversation with Sophie on a mobile phone, as seen in the trailer. I had someone reading in Sophie's lines for me, and it was quite disconcerting. Plus, I could see myself on the phone, and I was like, oh God, I look 100. You do. You don't look good. I don't want to be a dick. But you don't. Okay, let's see if I can zoom in now on the second paragraph. Okay. No! Ah! Fine. I had someone reading Sophie's lines for me, which was quite disconcerting. Plus, I could see... Okay, I looked at 100. I had to get them to put tape over the phone so I couldn't see myself. Really? Okay. It was a bit like learning to drive a car again, she adds. I never learned how to drive. There's a lot to remember. You've got to learn your lines, you've got to hit your marks, and you've got to remember what you're doing with the props. It's a phone, darling. It's a phone, okay? I remember the direction, and remember any direction you've been given. And then you've got to respond in a truthful way to whatever you're acting with in character. Yeah, but again, this is like the Jodie Whittaker's never felt the need to do. So, she's just a terrible actress. I mean, she really genuinely is. In character. So it was a bit of adjustment. It took me a couple of days for that muscle memory to come back. How long are they in it for? They sound like they're major characters, right? Sounds like she's in it more than Yasmin Finn is in the 60th anniversary. But as I say, I just felt so supported by everyone. Jamie Magnus Goldstone, who is freaking great, okay? He takes a piece of shit scripts by Chris Chibnall and makes them seem not awful. Somehow. I don't know how, right? But he's able to do that. I think it's very... And again, I think the long blonde hair and the tash is to keep him in work, right? I bet it does the trick as well. The director was so lovely and so kind. He had these hugely complicated set to cope with these special effects and lots of action, and he was just calm and reassuring. I can't speak highly enough of him. Again, the quality of his work is excellent. I'm going to try and zoom in again. Okay, let's see if he'll let me do it. Okay. Presumably, it was reassuring to have Sophie returning alongside with her. Oh, yeah, because it's a family, Doctor Who, says Janet, smiling. And we got to know each other for so long. And it was lovely having Gemma Greggrave as unit boss Kate Stewart there. I never liked Kate Stewart that much. But again, I just filmed an interview with Stephen Moffat, right? And the very clear subtext of the interview is that he's constantly being harangued by the industry he works in to insert ideology, right? Wokeness, for want of a better word, into his scripts. And so wokeness is it's generally speaking taking something that's successful and using it to platform an ideology. The ideology is normally things we all agree in, like, we should treat black people like people, and gay people like people, which I don't know anybody who would argue against, but also strange things like women are oppressed and need to be given superiority, and in all times can never ever have any flaws or anything bad happen to them, right? It doesn't really work so well. But yeah, no, I think Gemma Redgrave wasn't a story pushed idea. I think that's an ideologically pushed idea, and I just don't think she worked very well. Especially I've been listening to that Peter Davison box set 40 Volume 2. It's got this 6-part Alton story in it with John Culsher playing the Brigadier. That's fantastic, right? That really works. Kate, for me, look, I understand people like it, but it's not for me. I didn't mind it, right? But it's and it's clearly Jodie Whittaker saying, "Oh, that's a success. Well, let's glom onto that because everything we've done is a complete failure." She's Sophie Aldred, and I spent a lot of time together. It would have been nice if Sarah could have been in it. She referring to contemporary companion Sarah Sutton, aka Nissa. But she's from Traken, so why would she be hanging out on Earth? She could have been whipped in with a time warp or something. The Power of Doctor is a hugely ambitious episode. I believe it, and I am intrigued to see it because they put everything into this, right? Everything into this. God, is it going to suck? I mean, here's the problem, right? When they did Doctor Who Flux, they were able to keep it moving quickly because they didn't have to resolve any plot line, right? They don't have that luxury with this episode. And again, the rumor is, which is sounding more likely, it's going to end on a cliffhanger, which will make me very happy, right? They'd have to struggle to make they'd have struggled to make this 40 years ago, wouldn't they? Though they did stage Concorde hijack back on television. That is true. I mean, listen, John Nathan Turner always liked to go big, baby. Always liked to go big. Oh yeah, that's my favorite Tegan outfit. I think she looks totally the hottest, right? Right there. The leather miniskirt, black and white top. Absolutely. Again? Really? Why? Okay. We're going to read the box out. I might go back to that. Okay, I'm going to try and move this without making it go doink. Ah, it went doink. Oh, don't make me lean in again. It was too little, she cried. Okay. Oh, that's okay, but I'm missing half the page. Let's see if I can. Haha! Okay. Oh, come on! No, I just jerked my hand. Ooh, let's try it again. They do recommend you use a tablet. or a phone do read on. Fine, I'm just going to try to read it this side. For Time Flight, yes, but not very plausibly, says Janet, laughing. Yeah, that the production values in that episode, not the best. It's all so much bigger and grander now. There's so much more money being spent, and the sets definitely didn't wobble. I mean, yeah, we know that. We've known this since 2005. That was one of the first things Rossley Davis did, was make sure the sets didn't bloody wobble. There's also Janet says, way more action than there was in my day. I blame Sophie Aldred for that. Chris phoned and chatted to us about our characters. Why? Chris has never written a convincing character, right? Why? And I thought we might. Characters and what we thought might have happened to them. It's on Big Finish, right? After they left after the TARDIS, and Sophie said, whatever else happens, I want to be an action hero. Right, thanks, Soph. A nice one. So now I'm running endlessly up and down stairs, dodging Cybermen. Okay, so she's with the Cybermen. I'm going to try and zoom in again. I'm going to try and make my life easy, and it's going to make my life hard. It did it again. Fine. It's just like old times then, though at least this time she didn't have to do it in high heels. Ah, my costume. I love my costume, beams Janet. Ray Holman, what a treasure. I got to choose my costume, and it had sneakers, jeans, shirt, and a jacket, which would be fair to say was the first time Tegan's costume in history she hasn't hated. Well, listen, again, did you hate people lusting after you? Because I think you probably quite enjoyed that. It will be my guess, right? I like the leather skirt from Frontios to Resurrection of Daleks. Oh, we like that too. Again, look freaking awesome in it. Great legs, darling. And the multicolored dress. Yeah, I got them mixed up. Because you always stood out in shot. Right, so yeah, even when you're back of the shot, you were always front and center with the multicolored thing. From Warriors of the Deep to the Awakening, but they were of their time and they were never practical, and that's not what you want for when you choose an action scene. I agree with you there. Having spent the early 80s dressed by John Nathan Turner, Janet got her own back at the wrap party for the centenary special. It was fancy dress, so I borrowed a Hawaiian shirt from the wardrobe and bought a curly wig and a beard from a joke shop, and went as John. That sounds kind of fun. You can tell how many people recognize who I was. I was really surprised. There were a couple of guys who couldn't have been older than 35, and they knew immediately who I was supposed to be. See, that's the sort of thing they should be releasing. Like that sort of, like, make it seem happy, make it seem exciting, make people excited for this. No, they're just idiots, right? They really are just idiots. As anyone who's listened to their audio commentaries or enjoyed their affectionate bickering on the DVD and Blu-ray documentaries, we know that Janet has a delightfully irreverent relationship with her Dr. Peter Davison. How did working with Whittaker compare? I bet she's going to say she was fantastic. I just, my guess. Fantastic! Oh, the best thing ever! I got pregnant and had babies. It was that good, right? It was that good. It was very different because obviously you can't replace 40 years of taking the mick out of someone, which me and Pete do relentlessly. Okay, he describes my thought processes as coming from the dark world of Antipodean. How do you pronounce this? Antipodean, yeah, Antipodean soul. She smiles, but Jodie was so charming, so lovely, as was Mand. I mean, listen. They must be insanely charming, right? Jodie and Manda must be, because they're so obnoxious on screen, and everybody says they're so charming. Yeah. I mean, you've got to be pretty charming to offset the awfulness I see on screen. Let's read the box out. The Doctor isn't the only blast from the past being sporting a new face in the Centenary special. The episode also sees the return of the Master, the villain whose evil schemes brought Tegan into the Doctor's orbit in the first place. He killed my Aunt Vanessa, and may I say, the tissue compression eliminator of the 80s, and also of the 70s, like the original one. So much scarier than what they have now. They make everybody too small, right? And it's not scary. Here, let me show. Here, I'll show you the Master holding someone just that. Here, we'll zoom into that. Like, and people are saying, "Oh, that's going to be Yaz." Could be, but like, it's not as scary. Like, she looks like an action figure, right? I'm sorry, doesn't work very well. Is this one page? No, we're over here. They were so. So they killed my Auntie Vanessa, the rotten swine, says Janet, recording how Tegan's mother's sister ended up being shrunk to the size of a Barbie doll. Yeah, not like a 3 1/4 inch action figure. 3 3/4 inches action figure, which looked like crap. And the Barnet bypass was right next to where I lived. In 1981's Logopolis. But I absolutely love what Sacha Dhawan does. I mean, jumping him down and laughing insanely. He's a charming man, but he's so unhinged. It's utterly terrifying. Much scarier than the Master was in my day. I disagree. I think Ainley... Okay, here's a way to understand Ainley's Master, especially Mark of the Rani, right? That Ainley's Master is off his face on some insane... narcotics, something like ketamine, like Special K. Again, that when you watch Mark of the Rani with that understanding, it all works and makes sense. He's got this like weird, like speeding out face. He seems to have like white powder in his beard. Like he doesn't look like it. He looks like a bit of a drug addict, and that Master really works a lot better. Was more urbane and controlled like the original Master, Roger Delgado, but did that sinister controlling thing. But Sacha Dhawan's Master is, yes, the best way is unhinged. Unhinged from a successful performance. That's true. At Easter, the cat was finally let out of the bag when Tegan and Ace appeared alongside the Master, the Dalek Cybermen, Kate Stewart and Vinda in the teaser trailer, and it's fair to say the response on broke the internet. Not really. I mean, like, we were like, oh, it was like, okay, that's a shame. They're going to be solid with this, but what else? What can you do? Both Chris and Rusty Davis had warned me that they said the fans are going to go nuts. I thought, well, maybe, but they really did. It was very exciting. For Janet, the relationship with the Doctor Who family, be it her co-stars who became lifelong friends or the fans remaining a precious thing. No, well, listen, whereas precious thing that you can milk, but I don't think you really like fans that much. You're a normie and fans are weird. I get it. It's fine. Where was it? Saying she was treated for cancer 10 years ago, and the community responded typically energetic fashion. Peter Davison brought along 4 of his successors: Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, David Tennant, to a convention designed to raise both Janet's spirits and some money for Project Motorhouse, the youth charity she founded in her adopted home of Ramsgate, Kent. Okay. Wait, do we have a picture? Oh no, I think the picture of them firing the guns. That's from the Sophie, is it? Where is it? Yeah, I like. Look, this just doesn't look very good. I'm sorry, it just doesn't look very good. I don't know what to tell you. Fine, let's see if it'll let me zoom in this time or not. My guess is no, right? But it's a relationship that's had its ups and downs in the early years after a departure from the show. Interesting, getting a bit of dirt. In early years after a departure, Janet was very happy to keep Doctor Who with a slight remove. Yeah, she hated it. Well, I stopped acting, she says. I didn't really want to do fan conventions. I didn't think it was appropriate. And then I took over acting agency, Marina Martin Associates. And you could go off and do conventions and stuff, and then come back and be representing Paul McGann and Simon Callow and Anne-Marie Duff and Hugh Bonneville, and they were all clients, and it would have looked very, very cheesy. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I guess. Her decision to quit acting, partially motivated by the typecasting culture of the age she emits. It's a very different time back in the 80s. Yeah, again, but you remember in the 80s, they made TV shows that were popular, that people liked, right? That they didn't say, oh no, Netflix. Netflix is why Nobody's watching it. No, right? They made shows that reflected freaking reality, and I get it, right? I totally get it. That look at my camera's off. There, it's better. I totally get it that Nicola Bryant on the season 22 box set talks about one time in 3 of going into television centre, she'll feel a hand feeling her ass, which frankly I wish I had one of those hands. I would like I would like to find that out, right? I would definitely like go, oh well, that's incredible. However, I understand not to do that, right? But in the 80s that was okay. That's messed up, right? That's messed up. You shouldn't touch people without their permission, okay? That's messed up. But in the same breath, this garbage they make today that nobody wants and no one's interested in whatsoever just isn't working. I'm sorry. You already see. It was like, okay. You've already been seen in that, so we can't put you in this. It wasn't until the late 80s that they started saying, hang on, maybe if someone's done a series that's gone out to 10 million people, they might have some more traction with audiences. Well, people. Here's the thing: they're dumb. Okay, people who make TV shows, generally speaking, are dummies. So I wanted to move on from Doctor Who. Sometimes you have to step away in order to come back to something. I think that's true with a lot of people. That's probably true. That is probably a lot true. But life would be a lot duller without Doctor Who. Absolutely, says Janet. Well, that's true. Now, let me move this over. Let's see. So far, so good. Who knows what my life would have been like? Very different. The other great thing is that you start to meet people who tell you what the show or your character meant to them. Honestly, Tegan didn't mean anything to me. I like Peter Davison years. I think she's good. She was a good companion. But I wouldn't say I won't sit by the screen for 6 hours and watch her funeral like I did for the bloody Queen. Right? It didn't really mean much to me. We're up to was it Grant Gordon from the pop group The Divine Comedy. I'm glad they wrote pop group. Wrote an article about going to Longley in Longley Doctor Who convention in 1983. He was 12 at the time. His father was suffering depression from losing his job, but he managed to get his son to Longley because he had a crush on Tegan. Again, looked good in that leather miniskirt. Because when you read something like that, you realize how much it can mean to somebody. The fact that he was able to get his son to meet Tegan, it gave his father enough air under his wing to start to turn things around. Oh man, that's nice. That's a nice story, right? That makes me feel happy. So you start to realize that these ramifications that you don't necessarily appreciate at the time, you start to realize what a privileged place that you occupy in British entertainment. Very true. And at least she realizes it, right? I just wish she knew how shit this Doctor Who that she was going, and it's not an honor, right? It's just an embarrassment, right? An absolute embarrassment. There's also quite a few Tegans in the world. There's also probably quite a few Tegans in the world because of her. Yeah, I met a lot of Tegans, says Janice. I met women in America who are NASA scientists because Tegan inspired them. And I think, well, how did that work? I don't know. I don't really see the link, but okay, very good. You think, but okay, this is the insanity they keep getting sold, that Jodie Whittaker is going to inspire a generation of little girls to go into STEM subjects, because the only reason they don't want to is because society conditions them, because they want to keep women down. It's not true. It's insanity. That's bonkers, right? There's a lot of teenage math. There's a lot of teenage math boffin. Adric talking about how dumb she was, but Tegan was never dumb. She wasn't particularly academic. I look forward to meeting a new generation of Tegan fans, perhaps even a new generation of Tegans after the centenary special event. That's the trouble. You think this is culturally significant. They're telling you it's culturally significant. It's not. It's going to be memory hold. By November 2023, this is going to be forgotten forever. Right? I mean, forgotten forever. Right? As soon as Rusty Davis come back, no one's referencing this. Absolutely. What a privilege. You're not getting any new fans out of this. I'm sorry. Where will she be watching the episode when it goes out? Through my fingers. Me too. Trying to stay awake, keep jabbing myself with a cattle prod to keep awake through the turgid mess that it's inevitably going to be. It's watching through my fingers. She laughs, but for all her early nerves, Janet says she would have missed returning to the mad, brilliant world of Doctor Who for anything. I think you could have done next year with Rusty Davis, quite frankly. It's an absolute joy. It's been wonderful to be on set with such a lovely team. I don't care how lovely they are. If they make shit, they make shit. All right? The atmosphere was so collegiate and supportive. Well, that's probably another problem. So much of it is down to Jodie and her leadership. Well, okay, then, if it's down to Jodie and her leadership sucks. She doesn't know what she's doing, and this is just awful. And Jamie, the director, and Nikki Wilson, the producer, they're all wonderful and really kind and just very, very happy. It was a very, very happy experience, which it won't be watching it, okay? It will not be a happy experience watching it because it's garbage, right? Because it's unwatchable garbage. I think that's just the only way that the only thing that we can really assume is going to be unwatchable garbage. So look, Janet, darling, I know you feel good about yourself. I don't feel culturally significant. Sorry, you're not. You're not, and it's not going to work very well. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.